Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the 0 to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we are going to be going over milling, and this is milling for pretty much all of the inks. Now I had to think about this a couple of days ago, and I was like, actually there's not a lot of inks of old world stuff on the auction house, and yet they are still in use even today. So what I plan on doing is crafting loads of inks, including the current content BFA stuff, using the Worth It module. So that being the case, let's have a gander at this. So we like to stand on this grate because it makes us seem powerful. So pull up the Worth It add-on and let's have a gander. So at this moment in time, the amount of profit that we can make per cost of herbs is pretty damn good for a lot of these. Only one is not good, and that is the Dreamleaf one. That one's going to produce you with a negative, so obviously we're not going to bother with it because it actually takes into account the Nightmare pods as well for milling. That's another thing for the Dreamleaf part of the milling module. It actually takes those into consideration as well. The next thing of note, I think that we're going to have to build upon Xenanthid and produce a load of Maroon Ink. I think that's a good way to start because the profit per 100 herbs, well, per 200 herbs for Xenanthid for me is pretty damn high. So what I'll do is I will buy out some Xenanthid. So let's have a gander at Xenanthid. So all we have to do is double check what we've actually got on the auction house. So Xenanthid, let's have a gander. It's a market value of 26 gold. Now just bear in mind I've actually set my configuration to my DB market. I switched it from DB min buyout for the flipping module. I find that this to be a lot easier to do, and I don't lose gold this way because with the minimum buyout it tells you the exact minimum buyout. So say I picked something that was very obscure that isn't fluctuating. So the market value for something could be like 50 gold, but the minimum buyout could be like 10 gold, and that would basically lose a load of gold on your like milling module, and so to speak. So you just got to bear in mind that sometimes that the minimum buyout and all that jazz could be a bit weird and a bit scruffy. So be prepared to use whatever pricing source you wish to use for the milling module or any of the other flipping modules. Please be prepared that minimum buyout is probably not your best pick for it. You're pretty much wanting to go with your market value, and this is my personal opinion. You can use the add-on however you wish. Yeah, so that being the case, let's go and have a look at Xenanthid, and per 100 stacks we're going to be wanting to do that. So if we bought 2,000 of the herbs of Xenanthid, we can then create 80,000 gold's worth of Maroon Ink. So that being the case, let's have a gander at this. So obviously we're going to have a look at how much gold it's going to cost us. We're currently set at 534,000, so we've got a decent chunk to invest in this. And Xenanthid is like that, so we need 2,000 of these. And 2,000 is going to cost us 48,000 gold. That's pretty damn good. But with the Maroon Ink, so let's have a look at Maroon Ink. So Maroon Ink, we'll search it, and at this moment in time, we've got a decent chunk on the auction house for 40 gold. The market value of it is 46 gold, so that's what it's calculating it with, and the minimum buyout is 40 gold. So we're just going to double check that right there. And 40 gold, we can take a little bit of a hit with that, so we can still make a decent amount of gold through this. Probably about 7,000 gold instead of 8,000. I'm totally happy with that. So that being the case, let's go back over to our Xenanthid, and we're going to buy 2,000 of the Xenanthid. So that's a decent chunk right there. So 48,000 gold worth of Xenanthid. We'll buy that. And then I'm looking at King's Blood, sorry. And King's Blood is an old world herb that isn't really used for all that much, but once used, you can actually make a hefty amount by selling the ink. Now, the inks on the milling module don't actually show up as of yet. I would love them to have their own little panel in which you can price match besides each other, but at this moment in time you have to price match through the auction house as well. So it's a work in progress. We're working on quite a lot of things at the moment, so one thing at a time, so to speak. So that being the case, the 11,000 gold profit on top of that, and it costs us less than these Enanthid. So we will do the exact same and just buy 2,000. Let's buy all of it. So let's buy all of this. It's going to cost us 13,000 gold, and yeah. So I don't want all of those. I want it to round it up to a nice number because you're going to have to. Because I'm going to have to do it in fives because this is old world stuff. So 13,000 gold we'll spend on King's Blood. And then we're looking at Silverleaf. Now this will produce us with our lion, no, with our the very first ink that you're actually going to be produced with. So what we're going to do is we're going to here have a look at Silverleaf. I'm only going to buy 1,000 of this because it's going to cost about 13,000 gold for that. And I'm not too sure on this type of ink, but we'll spend that much on that and see how well we'll fare. Now, I know with Whiptail, which is a 6,000 gold marker of profit, that it actually sells quite well. That gives us the Inferno ink, which is a brilliant type of ink to actually get a hold of. And we're going to probably do 1,000 of that. And we will then have a look at Fellweed now. Now, Fellweed produces us a different type of ink, and we intend to make all of the different types of inks that produce us with a profit. And currently what I'm looking at is Fellweed is about 5,680 gold profit, and it costs us 310 gold to actually buy a stack of 200, and we can then flip that for 5,681 gold. PS, the old world inks, before you mention in the comments, they do sell a lot. They take a lot longer to sell. So bear that one in mind when you're actually going to do this, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be wasting your gold. So just make sure all of that. What we're going to do is we're going to do a complete market reset of this. So Fellweed, we're going to buy every single one besides one. So we'll round it up to a nice round number. And that's 280 of the Fellweed. And let's go on to Golden Sansum. Sansum produces, I think that's Hunter's ink, is it? I can't remember. But it doesn't really matter because the markup cost for it is 559 gold and 4,735 gold. So I will go with this and we will get a load of Golden Sansum. Now there's a 10 ton of this stuff. Oh my days, this is a lot of gold worth of Golden Sansum. I'm going to go with 1,000. So we will then go like that, buy 1,000 of it, and 1,000 has cost us 1,300 odd gold for that. I'm okay with this. I've got to bear in mind that I've got to use a macro to mill all of this stuff up. So other than that, that is the Golden Sansum. And we'll now have a look at Fade Leaf. Now this one gets a little bit pricier, and the market markup for this, as it's not a fast selling herb, is Fade Leaf is 1,763 per stack, and for a profit of 4,367 gold. Now I personally wouldn't do this, and I'm not going to, and the same goes for the Golden Clover, because the cost of buying it is 1,792 gold, but the value of it will then be about 3,843 gold for Golden Clover, and the profit is 2,051 gold. So I'm not going to bother with the Fade Leaf and the Golden Clover. So let's move our way down to Green Tea Leaf. So Green Tea Leaf, there is tons of this stuff on the auction house, and it's 247 gold per stack for a stack of 200. And we're going to make 1,202 gold on that. Now, I know that the glyphs in Pandaria actually sell pretty damn well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to spend a load of gold on that. And we will do, I would say, about not 600. We're not going to buy 600 of that. We're going to spend, 1,000. Let's spend 1,000 gold. Buy 1,000 green tea leaves, and that is for 243 gold. We don't want to produce too much ink on the auction house that it just bottlenecks and we lose all profit and all basic knowledge of this. So we want to be able to redo this every time. So we're trying not to reset the entire market like crazy. Obviously we did that with the Fellweed, but that was because there was naffle there. But with a lot of these, you don't want to flood the market, otherwise you'll drive the price down and you're just going to waste a load of gold doing that. So at this moment in time, we've invested quite a lot of gold into that. We've currently spent about 70,000 gold already. And we're going to go into Grom's Blood. Grom's Blood is bad. Grom's Blood, a stack of 200 of that is 3,709 gold for a potential profit of 757 gold. That's pretty bad. I'm not going to bother doing that. That is not worth my time. I'm really not that bothered by it. Now, that being the case, let's have a look at the other ones, and the rest of them aren't that good, so to speak. So, looking at it, the only one of note that I probably would still do is the BFA Riverbud. That because that is 960 gold and for a profit of 654 gold. So, with that being said, I will probably do that, and we will have a look at Riverbud. So, Riverbud is pretty steady. Its market value is 4 gold, and the minimum buyout at the moment is apparently 2 gold 98, but we can still see that it's still 4 gold. 4 gold for that, so 4 gold 80, 4 gold 39. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy another 1,000 of these. No, let's do 2,000 of these. Nah. I would say for Riverbud, I'm going to buy 4,000 of these, and that's another 17,000 gold. So essentially we've spent about 90k gold on the milling module, so that's pretty damn cool. And so for 90,000 gold spent, we're back down to 429,000 gold. So we've still got more to invest in all the other modules, but there is a few other things that I would like to go through today. Also, the gold for the day, is 1,797 gold because I was stupid and I didn't relist my auctions after I did my clean out. My bad. Crap happens, you know what I mean. But anything of note is some dredge leather sold. So yeah, we need to restock it with materials that we can sell. And obviously we've got a 10 ton of this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to open all this mail up and we're going to send it over to our inscription person, which is Zathrash. And we're going to mill all of this. Now, bear in mind when it comes to if you don't have mass milling, like for the old world stuff, you will have to make a macro. Or you can just do it as you would just by key binding it and then doing it that way. That is just painful. Just make a macro and just watch something while pressing the button. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I know my mechanical keyboard is very, very clicky. So I try and keep that at a minimum. So that being the case, let's send this over to Zathrash and make sure that he can do his entire job. I will go over the macro in just a second once we've actually sold all this over, and we can go over to Zathrash overall, and we can then get on to crafting these into a load of awesome stuff. So crafting it into inks, pigments, and all that jazz. I find that inks sell faster than pigments, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be crafting the inks instead of just selling pigments raw. So you can do it, but I prefer not to. In my experience, the inks sell faster than pigments, and it's not worth your time investing that amount of gold into that. So that being the case, let's go over to my alchemist. So flying over to the mailbox, I've been doing some other different types of farming, and that is the Tome of the Lost Legion. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted about this the other day. I don't really post all that much, but usually I say what I've been doing randomly, and I managed to get 2 Tomes of the Lost Legion, so it may be worth your time if you're on a server with a warlock running it. I will probably most likely show you guys the route at some point later on in the video, so if you want to stick around for all of that, that is pretty damn cool with me. But judging by what we've got at this moment in time, we will then just wait for all of this stuff to come out of the mailbox, and we will run into here because this is a innkeeper thing, so we can then log out instantly and go into another character. So currently at this moment in time we have 96,000 gold worth of stuff in our bags, and we're now going to try and turn this into a load of awesome stuff. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. So we'll jump into our inscription. I know I said alchemist actually, so by the way, we don't use that. So Let's just do our mass milling for the xenanthid for Maroon Ink. This is going to be really easy to do, and then we'll get into the macros in so as in which. So with the macros, all you have to do is make a specific macro, and I've already got one for ethereal, and that is it goes /cast and then space milling and then /use the herb in question. It's really simple add-on, like it's a really simple macro in order to do, and I find it super easy. I usually have one called seeds, and we'll place that in number 2 because it's my easiest one to do. And the first thing that we're probably going to be crafting with all of this is we're going to be most likely milling our silver leaf. So what I'll probably do is press shift and then left click, and then that links the silver leaf in. You can type this in if you really wanted to, but I tend to not to with the milling. So at this moment in time, we're currently going to be building up our gold. Obviously we can sell the pigments and that would make it a lot more, but they tend to not have a very good sell rate because people want the inks, not the pigments. Because basically you're saving people time in order to do this. You're spending your time to do this, and then they pay the premium of buying the ink straight up instead of sitting there for ages. But the thing with making inks is you can just press create all and do something else around the house or watch a TV show. That's the beauty of flipping, so to speak. So I intend to solely get into my flipping modules. I do intend to do quite a lot of them. And judging by this, we just created a couple of maroon inks. So yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're going to get into all the other flipping modules. So disenchanting we're going to get back into. We're definitely going to get back into prospecting, even though a lot of it's negative at the moment for prospecting, but it's fine. We can still pull in a decent amount of gold, especially with like tin ore. The vanilla gems actually sell really well, so aside from that, it's really damn good, especially with osmonite ore. Osmonite ore is a 500 gold profit, but it's a 5,531 gold cost, so probably not worth my time in doing. Now, the only good ones on here that I can genuinely see is ghost iron ore and tin ore, along with saronite. So the only one that isn't viable is osmonite ore. It is viable to make profit, but you're not going to get a really high return on your cost of production, so you might as well just sell the osmonite ore. And that goes the same with the other modules, so like smelting. I will get into smelting, start smelting a load of stuff. I probably will stop at creating dark iron bars and hardened elementium, blah, blah, blah. Half of it is common sense for creating a load of this stuff. So like crafting Titan steel bars, they have a sell rate average of 0.12. That is a brilliant sell rate. So Titan steel bars is something I will generally use to buy all of this stuff because the crafting cost is 510 gold for this. So the total value is like 1,000. So we make, for every Titan steel bar that we produce, we get 675 gold. That's brilliant. And the same with enchanted elementium. That one still it has a cost of 5,000, but it has a potential profit of 3,000. So that's pretty good. And the overall value is 8,000 gold. So it's genuinely how you really want to go about it. Now you can do this with older materials such as obsidian bars, titanium bars. You can buy out titanium ore for 245 gold and then flip that into the titanium bars or eternium bars and all that jazz. So it is something to go on to. Now with the frozen orb flips and the other ones for the spirits of harmony, this is probably something that I will take into consideration as moving forward, but aside from that, it's probably going to be pretty damn cool. Just getting started with the milling module first, and then once we're done with the milling module, we'll move on to, I think I'll probably jump onto smelting, because smelting is a very viable way in order to make gold, like lazy gold. Lazy gold making is using the flipping modules. That is probably the best way of explaining it. The most lazy way is using the flipping modules, or just flipping in general when it comes to prospecting, disenchanting, milling, smelting. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do it. You just find the materials that are worth it, and then I made a pun, and then you just press create all, and it's really not a lot of work in order to make a lot of gold with this. It's genuinely pretty damn good in the long run. So that being said, we're going to now press the 2 button, and we're going to mill our silver leaf for alabaster ink. So we're going to be here quite a while. So I'm going to be doing that in the meantime, and I'll post that all on the auction house for us. So that being the case, let's open up the guild bank for mobile banking. At this moment in time, I have been farming up the sealed Tome of Lost Legion. Now this farm is brilliant. Now for my realm, which is a high pop, the minimum buyout for it is 7,000 gold for the tome. It's pretty bad, but the region market value average is around about 29,528 gold, and the region sale average, and I added that in this time, is 18,299 gold. Also, you do get a battle pet from one of the bosses on the Isle of Thunder, which we'll be going to in shortly, so I can show you the route. And yeah, it's a nice little drop and a little bit extra that you can get alongside farming up the Tome of Lost Legion. The only thing catch with this one is you have to be a warlock to do so. The other thing that you will get for killing the rares is extra things like I've got some Capyrite, Ghost Iron Ore and all that jazz. So we got 2 Tomes of Lost Legion just by logging in the morning and selling that. So pretty damn good overall, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I will have to sell these individually because they are a unique item, which is something that you do need to bear in mind for the sealed Tome of Lost Legion. And once you've got it, shove it in your guild bank or send it for a mailbox or something. So then you are able to pick up another Tome of Lost Legion. Otherwise, you won't be able to get another one. So just want to bear that one in mind. That being the case, let's go over to the Warlock in order to see the Tome of the Lost Legion. Now this is perfect. One of the rare elites is up, and he drops the Tome of the Lost Legion. Obviously I've been running around, so I've got loads of 10 ton of random jazz all in my bags. But what you got to be doing is you're in the Isle of Thunder, and you're basically running along the outskirts in order to pick up all the different rares. You have to be a warlock for this. I haven't got my pet out, but it doesn't really matter if you've got a pet or not. And all you do is kill them and loot them, and then go to all of the mobs. Now, when it comes to the rare spawns on the actual route, I'm going to throw an image up right now of where all the rare spawns predominantly are, so you won't get confused and all of that jazz, so it'll be a lot easier for you. Now, aside from that, I do like to run this in my own little way. It does help if you do use the potion. If you use a water walking potion, or you got water walking, makes your life a lot easier for doing the route. Or you can just up and keep going the other way. So we're going to follow up to Goda, who is another rare elite who is up. And you do, and the micro century is right about here on the map. So really down at the bottom. And that comes from a rare elite micro century type thing. It's one of those centuries that you actually get. So with that, we've actually got a Mote of Harmony and a little green item to actually go along with this. And I've basically been doing this as like a 5-minute run around the island, see if any of the rares are up, and then log back out. And if I get a Tome of Lost Legion, that's great. If not, then I'm not worried. I have noticed that there is a load of botters like these guys here, these druids, Insu, and this other one called Enelis. Basically, they've been running around this entire area non-stop killing these mobs, and they've completely... And I've noticed that all they ever do is just like their guild is DSADAF, and all they're doing is running around, killing all of these mobs, and I'm guessing it's for the motes of harmony on these mobs, and all they do is just run around and bot, and they haven't got rid of him. Now, but moaning aside, this is another rare elite, and he is located over here, around about here, and there's one above us as well, and which I'll show you in a second. We'll kill him, and we did not get the Tome of Lost Legion. It's a very low drop rate, so to speak, when it comes to killing the rares. If you were able to get it from any mob, it would be a hell of a lot easier to get a hold of, and it wouldn't be that worth that much gold. So just bear that one in mind. This is why I use it as a 5-minute farm instead of just constantly being up. Just log on when you got a spare 5 minutes, see if the rares are up and kill them, and then log back out and try again like an hour or so later. So we'll kill this guy, see if we get it, and nope. You do get a lot of old school reroll coins, so just make sure about that. And what we'll be doing now is just going over and seeing if there are any more rare elites. There is only one rare elite that I don't bother going, because it means you have to go into like these weird catacomb things, and it just takes more time than it's worth to actually just go down and kill him. So I don't really bother, so to speak. But the other rare elite is up, and we will now just kill him and all of that jazz. We actually killed the rare elite before this, so after this guy we usually go to the rare elite we originally killed, or where I logged into. So just bear that one in mind. We're going to cut straight across the entire area now. I do tend to like this farm just because of its simplicity. Very easy to do. Throne of Thunder. You just go over to Isle of Thunder. It's so easy. Now, aside from all of that, I've been looking at using my crafting with my blacksmithing with this guy. And he's going to go learn today all of the uncanny gear. Now, I've worked out that if I manage to get it all to rank 3, I can make a hefty amount of profit. And I've worked out, I also did the calculations this morning, quick calculations to be exact, and for the rank 2s and rank 3s of all of the uncanny gear is going to cost me 66 honourable medallions. So if you are a PvPer and you want to make a bit more extra gold by getting all of the uncanny gear, so to speak, and selling that on the auction house, it may be worth your time doing it. I will obviously report when I actually do get into doing the crafting, but for obvious reasons I've got to get 66 honourable medallions or marks of honour, or whatever we call them. I think it's marks of honour actually. I've probably messed up, but that's not the point. The point is I need to get 66 of them. I've got 77, and it's not going to be that hard to do. I just need to make sure that I'm doing it correctly and just getting it all done. Now, we're running all the way over to the boss, which is the rare elite, which is located somewhere over here. And this is actually the Filthling farm. So on the map right now, where I am, over here, this is the Filthling farm. So we'll just cover this real quickly. You kill all of these quivering filth, and you can get yourself a Filthling battle pet. It's actually a pretty good farm. Now this one's the one that actually drops the battle pet. So let's see if we get it, kill him, and we did not get anything. That is brilliant. So that being the case, we're going to now go to the next rare elite, and we've nearly completed the circuit. It really doesn't take that long to do. We've skipped one, and that's about it. Yeah, it's a really easy farm to do for like 5 minutes worth of just running around and seeing if you can get anything of note. And the next one is by running over to this Eternal Spirit of Tharianja, or however you want to pronounce it. The rare elite is up, and for Argent Dawn, this is really unheard of. Like, all of the rare elites are usually down, so I'm going to take this opportunity, because of every rare elite kill is a chance of getting the Tome of Lost Legion. So we'll kill this guy and we will loot. But we also got a bag of Zandalari supplies, which you can get from the rare elites, which has given us 20 golden lotus valued at 24 gold, false cap, and the brain poppy, all of the herbs, so that's brilliant. I might actually send those over to our inscriber and mill them, because I'm not really going to do much with that. So that's pretty damn good. We just got one more rare elite to finish this up, and we should be golden. Now, obviously, I'm going to take the hard route because I am a noob, and yeah. Nah, it's basically I'm just being lazy, and we just need to kill Kulai the Skyclaw. And then once that's done, we are pretty much done with the Tome of Lost Legion. So this is kind of like a flipping guide matched with a 5-minute farm. So can't complain with it. This is basically what I've been up to, and I wanted to share it with you guys in the meantime of doing the Shadowmourne questline. And we have not got any Tome of Lost Legion. Don't worry if you don't get it on your first try. Just log out like my character, and once that's done, yeah, just log in every couple of hours or when you've got a spare 5 minutes with your warlock. Just do a lap and then you're good. So that being the case, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say for the day. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Have an awesome day, guys, and I shall see you soon.